So today we'll be looking at the time value of money. And before we proceed, it's very important to note the following. On every fiat currency, so when we say fiat currency, mean naira, dollar, pound, right? Every fiat currency loses value with time. Some currencies lose value faster than the others, right? Of course, we know that over time, naira has been losing more value as when compared to the US dollar. Now, so the rate at which a currency loses value changes with time. There are periods in history where naira will lose value at a very fast rate. There are periods where dollar will lose its value at a very fast rate. Why do currencies lose value? Basically, there are two main reasons, right? Of course, there can be others, but all the other reasons are incorporated in these two. One is due to inflation. So, by design, fiat currencies are made to have a certain form of inflation. Now, also, if you're expecting money in the future, that money may come or may not come. So, basically, is a form of risk involved, right? That's also why people prefer to have the money now, as regards to having it in the future. Calculate the time value of money. Now, there are basically three ways we can do it. We can use financial calculators, we can use Excel, then we can use some websites to do this. We'll basically be looking at how to use Excel and then some websites to make this calculation. Calculating the time value of money is pretty easy if we can understand the following terminologies. One is the payment. Now, imagine that I want to purchase a piece of land that is worth $10,000. I want to make your payments within a year. So the payment term offered to you may be like pay $1,000 every month for 10 months, right? $1,000 is the payment. And the EMPA is the number of periods involved. Since you're going to make payment for 10 months, that's 10. Future value. At the end of the 10th month, how much would the money be, right? So if your money is not making any interest, it's going to be worth $10,000. Now, the present value of the money. In 10 months, that money should have lost some value, right? So you can ask yourself, $10,000 in 10 months will be same thing as how much dollars today. Of course, it's going to be less. Now, the interest rate, that's the prevailing interest rate which your money is earning or which you are being charged. So now let's proceed to an example so that I can understand this. Please just remember that the whole point of this is for you to just have an idea, right? And as you proceed, go about your normal life and you have maybe deals, it should come to your mind and you can refer to this to be able to. The first question we'll be looking at this scenario, right? You are presented with two options, either to pay 500,000 naira today to buy a television set or to make 120,000 naira payment every year for 5 years. The interest rate is 15%. To solve this question is pretty easy if you understand the calculation terms that was just explained. So yeah, one thing that is pretty obvious here is the interest, which is 15%. Please always ensure that you put the 15% percentage sign, right? The periodic payment will be 120,000. Yeah. Emperor, that's number of periods is 15. Now here, looking at what will be the present value, use Excel PV functions. So just put equal to PV and click on it. It's asking what's the rate. We reference the rate here, which is 15%. How many periods? That's the Emperor, 15. How much payment are you expecting to make? 2 minus because it's a cash outflow, you're making payment. What's the future value? Future value here is 0. Now the type, are we expected to make payment at the end of the period? Are we expected to make payment at the end of the period? Here, we assume that you're expected to make payments at the end of the period. So do 0. If you look at it, if you look carefully, notice that there are some errors here. So one is the spelling, and then the EMPA. Number of periods is actually not 15, it's 5 years. So that gives us 402,258 naira, right? Now, if you compare to the 500,000 that we're expected to make today, notice that the second option is a cheaper option. If you had looked at this thing at face value, someone would have just said 120,000 times 5 and will have gone for the second option, right? But which is clearly not the case. Let's look at the second question. Now, this a retirement question. It says that you're expected to retire in 30 years. If you save $1,000 every year, you save $1,000 every year towards retirement, how much money will you have when you retire if your investment earns 6% per annum? Yeah, the periodic payment is $1,000. What's the interest rate? Of course, you guys are right, 6%. Now the period, the Empire, is 30. Yeah, we are looking at how much we have in 30 years time. So that's a future value. We'll use Excel's future value, MV. It's asking us for rate, 6%. Number of periods is 20. Payment, so making payments of $1,000 cash outflow. Present value is 0. The period will make payment at end of period 0. So in 30 years time, we'll have saved about $79,000. Now remember that this $79,000 will be able to get it in 30 years. You may ask yourself, how much would this $79,000 be worth today? You can look at the present value of this. The present value, the rate is 6%. Number of period is 30. The periodic payment is $1,000. And future value, you don't know the future value, right? You can just close it on. So that will be worth $13,000 today. Another way to play about this, right? So imagine that this is a situation I want to negotiate for rates. Of course, high rate is always better, but so can earn 10%, the sum goes up. Also, if you can if you so another way to achieve a higher sum is to increase the amount you are contributing. If you can contribute an extra $100 every year, that will give you like $86,000. The next example we're looking at is imagine you want to take a loan, and the institution lending you money, they're telling you they're going to give you this loan at 25% interest rate. You expect to pay it in 10 months, and the amount to borrow is 1.5 million. How much monthly payment are you expected to make? So here also the empire is 10 interest rate. Now, if you look carefully, or if you observe carefully, you notice that other periods we've been talking of years, we're dealing with years, but here we're not dealing with months. Now, one thing why using Excel's calculation, Excel's to do this calculation is that it assumes that the interest rate occurs in every year, right? So because this is quoted per year, we'll divide 25% by 12. Why are we dividing by 12? Because there are 12 months in a year. What's the present value? So I can always change this back. So now we are looking at what periodic payment you are meant to make. The rate is 2. Number of periods, stem. What's the present value? Now we are getting cash, right? So we won't use negative. We're getting 36. That's all. So basically, we'll be expected to pay 167,718 naira. Now imagine that the institution is asking you to pay 180,000 naira. Of course, if you've done your calculation, I know that no, this is not correct. So that means you're giving me at a high interest rate, or maybe someone is trying to rip you off. See how important knowing this, what it can do for you. Now, the last question we'll be looking at for today is so imagine a Premier League soccer player is receiving $15 million at the end of each year. So at the end of each of the next 7 years, he can earn 6% on his investment. What is the present value of his investment? It's simple. Just try and let me see how you are following. What will be the interest? If you guess 6%, you guess correctly. The empire, you guess 7, you guess correctly. Not really guessing, but expect you to have kind of grabbed it by now. Now, the present value is not present value. It's actually periodic payment. It's 15 million. So what will be the present value of this? Is it present value? Present value. The rate is 6%. Number of periods is 7. 52. So that would be like 83 million. Now that's the value of his of the deal. I hope you like kind of understand how this thing works, right? So the whole goal is not for it to try to memorize it, but for it to just have an understanding. And in day-to-day life, in transaction, in deals, try and bring this into the table so that it can enable you to negotiate better and to able to make the optimal decision in every situation. Yeah, bye.